Right, I'll go to the person I was talking to first. Amanor, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
I've got stream open twice, so let me just close one.
Yes. Yes.
Brilliant. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Brilliant. Thank you. First of all, are you feeling better? Let's start again.
Yes, I am feeling well. Wow, I was, and then the start to this show happened, and then I got a bit annoyed. But I'm feeling fine now, yes.
No, just about on this today's game, Owen. I picked up on something that MA said in the chat, and it just made me think about this just before we dissect the players and stuff. Have you in today's game? Did you see the style of play? Did you see what Ruben Amorim's philosophy was in terms of the way he wanted to play going forward? Did you see that?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, we had a bit of possession in the first half, then we backed off. I don't know. I don't know if it's a case of his philosophy. I don't know if it's a case of players can't do it. I just don't know, Amanor. I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. What did you think?
Let me help then. I think this is a case of suffering we have to go through because ultimately, even before this match, I predicted we'd lose 3-1. I didn't say this to anybody. Hand on heart, I think after seeing the Southampton performance, I thought we're going to get smashed. And the reason why we're going to get smashed is because our midfield. For some reason, Mainu and Ugarte in the last game or two just haven't got the energy or not doing what they're supposed to be doing. And we lost the midfield battle, and therefore they were pressuring us. And Brighton are a better organised team, so I'm not surprised with this result at all. I mean, that's the sad thing about this. I predicted us to lose, and what's disappointing me more now is that I I just think even if we get rid of these players, and bring these players in, it's not going to be fixed this season. This is going to be 2, 3 transfer print windows we're looking at. We're going to be like this for a while. I mean, we can't rely on Ahmad all the time, and today's an example of that. Obviously, Brighton snuffed him out. We'll talk about the goalkeeper in a minute because I want to spend a good time talking about that. But for me, fundamentally, I just don't think these players are capable of executing Ruben Amorim's plan.
Yeah, I mean, I think you might be right there. I mean, you said you wanted to talk about the keeper. Obviously, lots of people are going to focus on that with the third goal. What are your thoughts on Onana?
Yeah, I'm just, yeah, he's done, and I thought after the Arsenal game, he came back in wonderful. But for us to forget winning the league, forget winning cups, for us to go on a consecutive run, say to win 3, 4, 5 games, I don't think we can rely on Onana for that because for every 2 games he makes a fantastic worldly save. The third game or fourth game he'll make a mistake like this. So we can't build a run with him in nets. We have to accept that as a reality. He wasn't the main problem, but my frustration will be on him because even at 2-1 down, I thought we were still in the game. Genuinely, even the second half, Brighton were a bit more attacking. They were attacking our right hand side against Dalot, etc. And Mitoma was doing well. But when that third goal went in, I just think they felt deflated, the players. I saw De Ligt put his head on the floor, and I think that was game over. Yeah. So for me, Onana is not the answer going forward. And it's nothing against the player. It's just not good enough. And yeah, we just need to accept that and own that. That look, he's not as good. He's not good on the basic stuff. I mean, what was he doing that throwing that palm of that ball out like that? I mean, I can't explain it.
I can't either. I mean, like I said, I think his fundamentals in terms of a goalkeeper is just, it's not there. It's one thing to, when you're playing the ball out from the back, if you make a mistake like that, but his mistakes are just fundamental keeping errors, handling, shot stopping, crosses. And like you say, I don't see it getting any better. I mean, just finally, do you expect us to do any business in January? Of course, there's been rumours about Anthony on the way out, possibly Malacia as well. Still Rashford we're waiting on. Do you think that's going to lead to any incomings? Is that the only thing that can help Ruben Amorim at this point?
Partially, I think there needs to be. It's a domino effect, isn't it? First of all, needs to sell these players in order to generate the cash to get these players in. So I think there will be, but towards the end of the window. But I think what he needs to do, Ruben Amorim, is I think he has done in his mind identify which players he wants to keep and which players he wants to go and spend more time on the training ground. Because I saw this game today and I knew Brighton was going to give us a tough game, but I'm worried that he's losing his identity a little bit. Amorim. I don't think he will. But the players don't seem to understand his identity, and there are players who I thought really good under Amorim originally, but they've now started to drop to the level of other players. For example, Mazraoui, I thought had a poor game, in my opinion, and as well as Euro. So I just hope he can just nip it in the bud and deal with it. But yeah, it's not looking great, Owen. Thank you.
It's not looking great indeed. Big up, Amador. Appreciate you as always calling in. Pet has been a member for a month. Says, bring Roy Carroll back. Would rather have 10 Dallows in my team than Onana in goal. Yeah, honestly. I'm sure plenty people have a lot to say about Andre Onana and that mistake. Let's go to Show. Show. Is this why we have to sort of calm down if we do have a positive result? Because this is always inevitably waiting around the corner.
I mean, I think even when we got the positive result against Southampton, I don't think any of us were kind of going overboard with it because of the manner that we won that game. I think I remember saying at the end of that game, like the way we won that game, he doesn't put us in good stead ahead of the Brighton game, who we already have a bad record against, even when we played them at our best. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I always thought today was a bad matchup, just all over the pitch. They just got more legs. They showed that today. I thought that second half we were abysmal. I don't remember us having. Did we have a shot in the second half? I don't. Did we have a shot?
One. I don't. Maybe not on target. Certainly, I think I might have had one shot on target the whole game. Actually,
and that would have been the penalty, you know.
Probably, yeah, probably.
So we did not have a shot on target from open play today at home. It's embarrassing beyond belief for any Premier League team to have a statistic like that. And I just look at the team overall. I know, like, listen, that Onana mistake is horrific. Just added to the catalogue, since he's been at United. You know what I mean? But to be honest, I mean, I know Aminor said at 2-1, I felt like we were in the game. I didn't. I didn't feel like at any point in that second half when they went 2-1 up, we were going to equalise. We just didn't create anything. And where I will criticise Amorim a bit, because I don't want to be a hypocrite whereby, because I did criticise Ten Hag a lot, I don't want to do this thing where I give Amorim a free pass, because he doesn't get a free pass. I'm not saying Amorim out, and of course not. But my point with him is that he keeps going with this defensive selection at wing back, right? And it's not giving him anything defensively or offensively. Defensively, my case in point being that we've kept one clean sheet under Amorim, total, in all comps, right? So him playing Mazraoui and Dalot at wing back is not giving us anything defensively. And we've already conceded 3 goals 5 times under Amorim. So it's not helping us. And offensively, they're doing nothing either. So I know people might say it's a ridiculous suggestion for me to say, I don't know, try Garnacho left wing back. I know it's a Hail Mary thing, but what harm, how is it going to be any worse than what we're seeing right now? Or, I mean, I was going to say Anthony until I saw the news today about Betis, but
yeah,
for me, I think that's where he's not helping himself. I get it. The options are very limited. 100% I get it. But I think when teams see us with Mazraoui and Dalot wing back in this system, I think they just go, yeah, just press up on them. Like Southampton did it, right? Southampton saw us with that, even with, to be fair, not so much on Ahmad's side against the Southampton game, but today especially, Brighton look at Mazraoui and Dalot and go, Mitoma, Minter, just have fun. You don't have to track back because these lot ain't going to do anything going forward. So I think that's where I want to criticize Amorim and go, look, you're not being brave enough and you're losing games by using this defensive approach. So what's the point? My bigger point is I'm seeing Ineos getting rid of these players left, right and centre, right? Which I have no problem with. Got rid of Sancho in the summer, I have no problem. Where I had the problem is that you didn't replace Sancho. Now, Anthony's going to go out on loan, not permanent, on loan. But you're not going to replace him. I mean, you're going to loan out Rashford, I assume, because you're not going to probably send him permanently. Where's the replacement? I mean, it's January 19th, though. Is it tomorrow? We're going to be 2/3 through the window. 2/3. Yeah. Where are the players? I'm seeing
and we're
Ipswich.
Not being linked, and we're not being really linked
Exactly.
to anyone. Certainly concrete. It's gone very quiet in that regard.
Exactly. It's like, I mean, I've seen Ipswich slap down 20 million for a player from Villa. Ipswich, right? So that's a club that's probably trying to get a relegation. We're here, 14th, whatever we're in nowadays. Yeah, no players linked. All this talk only about Ineos. Oh, we're just stripping the squad, stripping. What we're going to be left with, a 15-man squad? Like, Where are the incomings? Where's the backing for this manager who you forced to come now because he wanted to come at the end of the season? You said no. You said no, come now. Where's the backing? Where is it? Like, they're setting him up to fail. It's crazy.
And, well, what's your prediction then when it comes to the end of January? Do you think we'll bring anyone in, or do you think it's going to be maybe like one loan? What do you think it's going to look like?
I think Max, like you said, probably going to be one loan. Because I think if we were going to buy someone permanently now, it's going to be some desperation thing. Because as soon as you enter the last 10 days, if you're not linked to anyone, you're doing a desperate thing because it's not planned. So there should have been better planning going into this window if we were going to buy someone. Clearly, we didn't plan to buy anyone, hence why we're not being linked in the first 20 days to anyone. So that's why I'm shocked by it, because I'm like, we were 12 a month ago. So what? Yeah.
Well, when it comes to planning as well, I mean, they planned for a season with Eric Ten Hag, didn't they? Because they give him another year on his contract, which and even that's going to change. They planned with Dan Ashworth too. That happened.
But this is my point with Ineos, though. It's like, I feel like if this was the previous regime, Murto and Arnold doing this, I feel like there'd be much more uproar. I still feel like Ineos are getting a lot of grace when I'm thinking like they're well into this job now. They're not inexperienced people. These are people that were meant to lift the expertise at the club. At least that's what I was told. I've not seen it.
No, it's true. Best in class. That's what it is, right, Show? Big up to you calling in as always. We've got close to 800 people watching. We're less than 200 likes. If you haven't already, click the like button and also be sure to subscribe. Amanor says, Show, who should be wing back given Anthony is going? I'm sure Show will respond to you, Amanor, in the chat as well. Let's go to another call. Let's go to... what is his picture? Let's go to Uncle. Uncle, what are your thoughts on what you watched today?
Well, this picture is me shutting people up that any small game, any little improvement, any little thing that look like we played football, suddenly they're like, Man United is back. All of you need to keep quiet. All of you people need to be shut up, because this, what we played today, Owen, is where we are as a club. It is very, at this point, it is not even disappointing. This is what we are used to, you know. I was telling someone the other day, that Southampton match, with every goal that Ahmad was scoring, I was getting more angry.
Yes.
I was getting angry because I was like, why? What is this? Is this where Man United have gotten to? Is this how bad we are? That we had to wait for Southampton to get tired and to drop deep. Because before they will say the other team are playing too deep. That's why we cannot bypass. Southampton played a high line against us. We had to wait for them to get tired before we needed one player to save us. Look at where Man United are. And for Ineos that told Amorim, it's now or never. Amorim said, let me come in next summer so that I can have time and do my preparations. They said it's now or never. And they brought him in, but they cannot support him in the transfer window. So what was the hurry to bring him in then?
Yeah.
Why not just wait for him to the summer?
Do you think they would have had those conversations? Because you're right, you know, if you're going to give him an ultimatum, as if to say, no, it's now or never, do you think he would have said, okay, does that mean I get to spend in January? Or do you think he was fully aware that he wasn't going to be able to bring players in, and maybe it's worse than he thought it was?
I think it might have been a thing of, I will come in and see, you know, because if they are bringing him that time, it might have been a thing of, okay, take your time from when you come in to the next transfer window. We are not going to improve the team overnight, but we are going to start making headway. So what must have happened is they might have told him, we need to sell to buy. So identify players that you want to move on. We will move them on and get players for you. And we have clearly seen that Amorim has identified players that he wants to be gone, at least for now. You know, eventually he's going to change the full squad. But for now, he has said, these players, I don't need them now. You can sell them.
Yeah.
Now the onus is on Ineos, and they are struggling to sell players. That is it, because Amorim has identified people he wants to leave. And for the last caller that said Garnacho should play wing back, which Garnacho? This version of Garnacho, this version that cannot play as a 10, as an attacker, he's struggling. And we know Garnacho has his defensive frailties. So we are managing people that can defend but cannot attack. But then you want to put somebody that can defend and can attack. Let us be looking at things logically here. Let us actually be looking at things logically. You know, I'm not disappointed. This is where Man United are. And until changes are made, we will remain at this position. So that is it.
That is it. When Uncle says that is it, then that's it. You don't really have any recourse after that, you know. That's why he's got the someone mouth big out together with fingers. Pick up Uncle as always. Wisdom. That's what that is, yeah. K-Flow says, I think this Amorim appointment was panic in fear that City will get him. Clear there was no plan. This Anthony loan without replacing is a stupid idea. Big up K-Flow as always. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Chalaboy Comics. Chalaboy Comics. I wish we were talking on a more positive note, but it's another defeat at home. What are your thoughts on what you saw today?
Owen, I woke up at 6 a.m. to watch this game, and they disappointed me again. As our manager loves to say, it's so hard. It's so hard, guys. Really, really hard. And it's hard to support this team because obviously I'm embedded to it. I've been supporting it since I was a toddler. But, you know, it's just difficult because, you know, one step in the right direction, next step, you know, two steps back. But I'm not, you know, emotionally all over the place because I accept the reality of where our club is at the moment. It's just I wish we could do a little things a little bit better. Like I think, you know, it was telling what Amorim said last game, where he said it wasn't the fault of the players, it was the fault of the system and the way they were coached, and he sort of took responsibility. And I also felt that way about last game, and in a similar style. I feel somewhat similar this game in the sense that I think we did do some really good things. Like in the first half, especially our front five pressing was really good. We went man to man on two of their center mids, Baleba and I think number 26 with Mainu and Ugarte, and we sort of cut them off. It was very difficult for them to sort of like build up through the middle, and they had to go around, and we managed the game well. And then once they started adapting, you know, how they were building up, we didn't have an answer to that sort of change. And that's something that I wish Amorim would have sorted out a little bit better. And then also when it came to our build-up, so what's been difficult with our build-up has been once the ball gets to our wing back, you know, we find it difficult to progress it. So it gets stuck in the back line going round and round. And today I felt like we made a concerted effort to tell our wing backs to, once they give the ball, to make an immediate run so they can get a give and go. And that was one idea that Amorim used to get out of that. And we tried it for the first few minutes of the game, and then all of a sudden we stopped doing that, right? So I just don't understand, you know, why I challenge Amorim, or I would like him to have a little bit more creativity with our patterns out of build-up coming from the back, because I feel that's the ball's getting stuck there a lot. So he has to take responsibility on that. But then in general, it was a hard game to sort of analyze because we did have some decent chances with the lit miss on the set pieces. Bruno had some good deliveries, but that we didn't capitalize. Then on the flip side, Brighton scored 3 easy goals from our standpoint because of lack of concentration. So it was a balanced game that Brighton took the initiative on, which was disappointing because we had moments in the game where we could have done better. But as we know, with our squad, we're just not good enough at the moment, and that's where you know, we're left at. So it was a disappointing game all around, I'd say.
What did you make of the Andre Onana mistake? Of course, lots of people are going to be talking about that. He's obviously made several before.
Yeah.
It's not the reason that Manchester United lost, but it's certainly a contributing factor, no doubt about that. Well, what do you make of him at the moment in terms of his future? I mean, Bayern did well in the FA Cup game, so people now maybe see him as a viable alternative. Do you think he's got a potential to be in trouble?
So this may be a bit of a reactionary take, but I believe we're going to get rid of Onana in the summer. I think if we're thinking about raising funds and, players that are in the sellable range, and if we're looking at the complete long-term, vision of, the standard of goalkeeping that's going to win titles, I can see Onana, being moved on, because for as much as I never wanted to criticize, I don't want to criticize him, because confidence is a big thing for a keeper. It just seems like this is just a part of his game, that he's always going to have these errors. And if we even look at the FA Cup final last time, we almost lost it because of an Onana mistake. So the fact that these keeps coming on, if I was Ineos, I would move on, get, I think Mina said it, Suzuki, or that goalkeeper, Japanese goalkeeper, could be good. But in terms of this season, if I'm buying deer, I'm licking my lips and I'm like, I'm trying to get that spot, because I think Onana is maybe one or possibly two more big mistakes away from being dropped, because when you're in a relegation battle, which we are in, every point counts, right? And if from our sample size of what we saw of Bayern Deer, if he wasn't that bad, in our eyes, not as good as he should be, if he wasn't up to standard, he would have replaced him a long time ago. So I think Onana needs to be moved on. I think he could get like 30 to 40 million for him this summer. And instead of trying to sell Garnacho, which to me would be negligent, unless, of course, Amorim has said, I don't want Garnacho. I think he's still too raw to have to just get him out the club now. Maybe in 2 seasons we can sell him. But I think Onana will be the perfect player to raise funds with, in addition to Rashford, and then we can build our team. But I know a lot of people have been coming for Dalot and Garnacho. I really like them in this team. I think they're hungry. They have heart. And I think we should stick with them and get rid of the older players in Eriksen, Lindelof, and potentially Onana.
And just finally, obviously, so many people are going to be coming out today, talking that, this is an evidence why we need to do something in January. This is why we need signings, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any hopes for us to do anything, or are we going to be looking at maybe a loan or two?
I don't know, because to be honest, I've lost a lot of faith in Ineos's operation. I just don't know if I still have faith in Barada, but when it comes to Ratcliffe, I think his fingers are in too much stuff, and I just don't trust their judgment. However, if we're trying to salvage the season, we have to go into the market, unless, of course, Ruben Amorim has been told, we're not going to buy anyone in January. You have to just coach this team. Because I still, for as bad as we are, and I know numbers don't lie, I still think we're better than 14th and 15th in terms of our squad quality, right? So, I think we should be back. But what I don't want is for us to spend stupid money on a stopgap. I'd rather just take the pain until summer. But I think a loan needs to be a loan for either get a striker in this January, which seems like we might not because we don't have the funds, but I would go all out for Osimhen if I can get him this January, and then potentially find a left wing back cover, because like Sho mentioned, I've been pushing the Anthony at left wing back or right wing back trial, because every time he's done a cameo there, he's done well, and I think he gives balance with Dalot on the other side. So the fact that he's gone, and the fact that Malacio is also still coming back from injury, it leaves a huge gap in the wing back position that needs to be filled. So I would go, and hopefully we will do something. Personally, I don't know if I have faith in the operation. I'm just going to sit back, watch, and hopefully Amorim can coach this team out of the right.
Hopefully, indeed. Big up Chalaboy Comics as always, calling in. Where are we at? We got quite a few super chats here. Amanor says for Amarim's system to work, he needs 2 attacking wing backs. Red Baron says this season is about avoiding relegation. K Flow with the super chat says largely United spend around 200 million every summer. For the last few years since Jose, we've done nothing in January. Where's all that savings gone? Also, where do fans think? Where do fans think we signing nearly a whole team from? And Joe Fleming says, I think Onana's mistake for the second goal was even worse than the mistake for the third goal. Literally just come out and catch it. He cost us the game. We've got 800 people watching. If you haven't already, click the like button. Let's see if we can get to 300. Let's go to another call. Let's go to Eminem. What did you make of what we saw today? Another home defeat for United.
Just crap. It was awful. It wasn't as bad as Southampton in terms of the open play, the way we were conceding chance after chance. However, it was just so easy for Brighton. We did have some better in the attacking spaces, but nothing came from it. But it was just so easy for Brighton to eventually get through us, especially with that Onana mistake to seal it for them. And the last 2 games, I know this whole discourse about not selling good Garnacho and all that, but just the last 2 games, because we do need just something just to start this rebuild for Amram. I would be open to selling him so we could just get some players in, because it's clearly obvious that due to PSR, it's a sell to buy market right now for United. And I don't know how much the loans is going to help them, but I mean, Anthony's going out. Malassi is looking to go out. Rashford, I don't know. It might just be until end of Jan. But yeah, these 2 games, especially today. I mean, especially the Southampton game. Brighton, they've had our number for a while now, for the last few years. But it was a crap game. There were some good things in terms of, I know, final third moments, but it was nothing to brag about because our only goal was a penalty.
Yeah, exactly. And it's kind of what Sho was saying earlier on. It's the lack of, attacking threat factored in with, defensively. We're actually conceding more goals now than we were previously too. I mean, with the Onana situation, where do you stand on that? I mean, what's your opinion on him, his future? Is that now another position we need to actively look towards in the summer?
That is another position I think that we need to go for. However, I don't think that wouldn't be my priority at the moment. Right now, we need to build. We're having issues everywhere, so we need to build it. We need to build the spine up. If the priority is to get a new goalkeeper in the summer, I think we'd be looking at the wrong areas. We need to build the system first. So I think even though Onana's making a mistake, he's had his good moments, like the Southampton game, and I think we can just go through the moments, go through the momentum with him until we get other areas where we develop. But it's in him. He had a good, I don't know, 2-3 months of the season. He had a good one, and then all of a sudden, the Bozo genes just kicked in again, and now it looks like it's spread to Mazraoui as well.
Yeah, I mean, lots of people were saying that. I mean, do we think that Mazraoui's starting to dip off in terms of his form? And then again, is that just the infectious nature of playing for Manchester United too?
Yeah, it's a symptom of the environment, right? It's they're all catching it. Like Bruno was doing so well when he came under Oli for like 18 months, 24 months, and then it just dropped off, and all of a sudden, like he's been able to provide good moments, but he's been pretty poor. He's been average or poor. And it's the same with everyone in the team, and Mazraoui is just getting that as well, and it's in some ways Delit as well. But Mazraoui's not able to keep his standard that high. The only player that's able to do that at the moment for us is Ahmad, and it's just this kid's just incredible. But our team is like the only time we can actually threaten in the final third and actually cut through is through Ahmad. And maybe that Bozo gene might hit Ahmad later this season, but I don't think I don't think it will, because he seems like a special kid. But it is a bit of a worry. I don't know how we've had 2 different coaches. Erik ten Hag's been known to be a disciplined coach, and then the same with Amram. He's shown with like the Rashford situation as well. However, our players are not able to pass. They're not able to move as quick as Brighton. I don't know what's fundamentally has created this crap that we're seeing right now. Could it be the training facilities at United at Carrington? I don't know, but it is a bit of a worry, and I think it's going to continue until the end of the season.
And just finally, I mean, with January still ongoing, with this window ongoing, and with this result today, do you have any expectations of people that may come in, or are we just going to have this sort of difficulty for the rest of the season, you think?
Again, it's going to be sell to buy, in my opinion. If we don't sell anyone, we won't be getting anyone. I don't expect us to actually get anyone if we loan out Rashford, Anthony, and Malacia. That's how bad I think it is. That's why I know I don't think Garnacho suits the system. I know everybody's saying that he's just 20, but he's not, like, for me, he's not a generational talent like Mainu is, even though Mainu's doing poor right now. But I think he's got a higher ceiling. If it was just me, just seeing these two matches, I'll take that money and just invest in the squad. And then obviously we can develop for the future. We need to move. We just need to move forward now rather than just relying on Amram to get the best out of this team, because right now we're not able to get the best out of anyone except from Ahmad.
Very true. Big up Eminem. Appreciate you calling in as always. One final super chat before we wrap things up. It's been a long day, this. K-Flow says, PSR this, PSR that. How did Chelsea spend? And again, we've not spent in January for nearly 6 years due to the same excuses. We get more revenue than most sides. How are fans lapping up these excuses? Well, in fairness, Chelsea spend by selling hotels and land and finding loopholes and bending the rules. That's literally how in the summer they avoided the PSR charge, by selling their hotel, not to actually someone else. They sold it to themselves, by the way. They sold it. Clear Lake sold it from, was it Chelsea to Clear Lake or to someone? That's what they do. And also they sell their academy players, you know. They bring players through, and like Conor Gallagher or whoever, or who's the player that went to Aston Villa, Maatson. You know, that's what they do. You know, and it's the same, I think, when it comes to United, and they get front of shirt sponsors of people that don't update their websites in like 18 months, I think, as well. That's how they do it, you know, and they find ways around it. So it's the same way, I think, as United, find the way around it, you know, find the loopholes. And VK says, Reuben won't last this season. We don't have the legs to place two centre mids to control the game. Maguire can't start, drops too deep. Mazraoui, De Ligt, and Yoro is a better back three. Well, there you go, guys. Appreciate everyone that's called in. Apologies, couldn't get to everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. As I mentioned, fan view should be up if they're not up already, as well as player ratings. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Flex and actually, no, it's just going to be me tomorrow morning, actually, not Flex. He's going to be in Sky, I think. Well, the channel will be back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. as per usual. And also, big red carpet tomorrow, of course. I think KG's back. What you will like to hear is actually KG and myself will be on the match on Thursday, as far as I'm aware, because it's Europa League and it's home game. So no more judge of the solo views, and KG's back in the country. So we can actually maybe win a game. Maybe we'll go from there. Anyway, appreciate everyone's tuned in. I'm out of here. Peace.